Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Welcome to Not Near Mint, everybody. It is June the 3rd, 2020, and this week DC came out with comic books. Just DC, no Marvel, unless you're counting trade paperbacks. I didn't pick up any, but I did get a bunch of back issues, and I think so did a bunch of other people that are part of our crew. So let's go ahead and say hi to some of the people that are involved. Let's start with Lady Fantastic. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm just glad that we're here and we're safe because this has been a trying week.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
Yeah.
Let's put that up, shouldn't we? Banners, this is a show for 18 and over, but I'm not the one to tell you this. The person to tell you that, well, is the guy that may or may not be in the background. Miracleman. Miracleman?
He's probably dropping a deuce.
We're going to go with that. So
When in doubt, you're taking a poop.
Oh boy, this is what happens when we start the show. Sometimes it's just cattywampus and it's chaos, just like this country. All right. Comics on the mind.
I've lost my mind. I've lost my mind.
Hey,
Hello?
It's you and Miracleman.
sorry.
Guess who's back?
Had to step away unexpectedly. Apologies.
No, it's all good. Just wanted to say hi to everybody that is joining in the chat, live, replay viewers, all one and the same. So this is our show of the comic book YouTube, and this is for 18 and over. Miracleman, would you like to take it away and let everybody know how old you need to be?
Not Near Mint is a show that's let me start over. Not Near Mint is a show that's intended for audiences over the age of 18. If you're under the age of 18, please do not watch Not Near Mint. It's not that we don't want you as a fan. We just can't let you watch the shit we're going to do.
I like it.
Perfect. Wow.
Accurate. It's accurate information.
100%. This is our 41st episode. We're back again this week. We didn't have any mistakes as we did 2 weeks ago, so I'm in a better mood. I don't know about the rest of you. This is kind of why we had our famous uprisings. And some people might be thinking we're going to be talking about things along the line of Atlantis attacks, and we might, but we're going to be very loose on this episode because things are a little nuts going on right now. So we're going to try and focus this a bit more on back when Image just up and formed because the people working for Marvel just didn't really like what was going on. So before we even start that, I wanted to start with some graphics and say, well, what did all of us get? So let me see if I can grab this one right here. Here's our weekly graphics. But first, I want to shout out the YouTube community that is all here with us now. So let's say hi to Comic Book Poser. Thank you for joining. He's been tailgating since the beginning, along with 1-2 Comic Talk. Rob Worst is the best. No one listens. And I was here to say we're about ready to start. G-Beck, Nerd Jam Room. Good to see you. Lady Fantastic, greeting everybody in the room. Comics on the Mind, also greeting everybody. And anybody else, Miracleman, and I think we're pretty much caught up. So as people are joining, that's fan-freaking-tastic. But how about we just say, what did everybody get? This is the comic book hunt. So we all went to our comic book stores over the course of the week. I know that Lady Fantastic didn't get a chance to go today for some new books, but it's been pretty damn slim pickings, to be fair. So with this comic book hunt, how about we go around and just say, what did y'all get?
I'm just gonna go. So here's what I got today.
Take it away. Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh.
All right. So excited about this, man. Sequel to The Boys. Dude, if you read The Boys, it hops right into it. It's 10 years later, just like it is. And Wee Huey and his love are living in their small town. Last seen in the Wee Huey miniseries they did. Really enjoyed it, guys. I'm not going to tell you anything. It's really good. You're going to want to see it.
Don't tell me anything. I'm reading the trades right now.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Haven't read this one yet. This Shazam has an appearance by Batman. It's actually a kind of an interlude issue. It takes place prior to issue 1 of the series. So just a little not giving us that Captain Marvel reveal that we want yet. Action 1022 came out today. This is the first chapter of the House of Kent. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you were a fan of pre-Flashpoint, and I don't mean our Flashpoint, but pre-Flashpoint history in the DC universe, this is going to be a big, important issue. Get this issue, guys. All right, if you're watching now, if you're watching later, go out, get this issue, call your shop, buy this Action Comics. I'm sure they have plenty. It's Action Comics. I'm sure there's
My
tons
shop
of
did not get any copies of that in, and that's the thing. A lot of orders that went up from the country, they didn't get every single book that they ordered from my shop because I've seen the reviews and they've been pretty good.
Yeah, this is that's a shame. Yeah, get this one though. It's going to be important for DC moving forward. Batman Superman 9. You know, I was listen. It's not that I dislike this series, but I think I'm probably going to drop it. I was buying it for the Batman Who Laughs. Was that opening storyline? I'm kind of. It's just not really doing a whole lot. The Ra's al Ghul one. General Zod team up one. It just didn't interest me. The art was great. I mean, it's not that it's poorly written. It just might be too much.
I agree.
You know, yeah. Copra number 6.
I passed that. Did you read it?
Dude. Listen, I talk about this series. I think fairly commonly every time a new issue comes out. If you're $6. It's an extra big book. It's a 56-page book. Actually, no, it's $5. It's $5.
Oh.
But it's a 56-page book. This is done by a cat named Michel Fife. I believe he's a Cuban creator.
He's local.
Yeah, right. Copra started out as a book that he completely made by himself and sold on Etsy.
What?
Okay?
No way.
My dude made like 30 issues and sold them only on Etsy.
Bro,
The funny thing. Oh, go ahead, Lady Fantastic.
Rob, put the camera on me. All right, now so do you know how certain people do like the EDC everyday carry shit?
Yeah.
I got this little leather made thing from Etsy from this chick.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
And
cool.
so like I keep a little like this is I've got my
Are those bullets? What's on the
no. This is a little Swiss Army knife.
nice.
And this is
It's a skull. I'm blind.
yeah, this is a flashlight. And then this is shut up, Fisher Space Pen.
Nice.
And it's copper, silver, and brass. And I'm so cool.
Nice. Very cool.
All
You
right,
get cool
back to the
stuff.
show.
You can get cool stuff off of Etsy, but an
you can.
ongoing 30-issue comic, that's a rarity.
But the thing about Copra, first issue had a print run of 400.
Right.
That was it.
Right.
So, and then there was like an issue 1, 2 combined,
Yeah.
and trying to find either of them is
Forget
goddamn impossible right now.
Forget
Unless you were one of the first people on Etsy doing that,
Right.
yeah, you're going to be paying $800 or more for that book. unless you just don't know any better and sell for $10 on Letgo.
It happens. Now here's the thing: if you're at all, this is what you want to read. If you are a fan of John Ostrander's Suicide Squad, Copra is essentially an alternate universe John Ostrander's Suicide Squad that never ended. It's really fun. You'll instantly recognize the characters. I don't know how he's getting away with it, to be frank and honest with you. I mean, you have a Punisher, you have a Deadshot, you have a Vixen, you have an Amanda Waller, you have a Shade, the Changing Man. I mean, it is the Ostrander squad through and through. But I guess they're changed enough to get away with it. In fact, the Captain Boomerang character's name is Digger. That's his name.
Yep.
In the book.
80% has to be changed from the original.
Right.
You can basically have almost the same damn thing. That's what he said. If you want to create your own characters, go ahead. Just you can copy others as well.
Right. But if you're interested in this at all, Image picked him up. His original publisher was North Bergen Books. It was his self-published imprint. But you can pick up his whole originally run as trades through Image right now. Highly recommend it. Best top of the read pile every time it comes out. Savage Dragon 218. This is not new, but this was the oldest back issue on the shelf that my shop had. I didn't realize this when I bought it, but this is actually the issue that ends with the election 2016.
Oh, fuck.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's just move on.
Some shit.
Ain't that some shit? And then I got two more new ones. I'm going to show you. First up, the back issue, the recent back issue that came out. So back issues from Tomorrow's Publishing. It's essentially a fanzine. This one's all about the Legion. It tells you everything. Stories that weren't published, characters that were created that they never got to put out, history, interviews, all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff. This is the best fanzine on the market today. Really recommend. If you see a back issue, it's always worth a read, man. And then last but not least, this one's a Hernandez Brothers Psychodrama Illustrated #1. So everybody's familiar with Love and Rockets, I'm sure, right? So they do all kinds of spin-offs. This is a spin-off from Love and Rockets. I think it's Luba is the character. As with all Love and Rockets books, there's gratuitous, less than dressedness. So you will see some rather adult situations. Now that was it for the new books. Real quick, give you a quick run on the back issue pickups because I got some cool ones. There's my Spawn #1 I finally got.
For 25 cents?
No, I got it for $10.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah,
I'd pay
$10.
$10 for it too if I saw it
It's
out
not
more.
bad, yeah.
No, I got the first 50 issues.
Meh.
Can't complain.
I've got I may have an issue or two. I can't remember. I need to look before I say anything.
And then real easy and cheap, $2 a piece. Got a couple of Preachers, #10 there.
Worth it.
#23.
Did you,
It's a great cover.
Oh,
Easy-
dude, I love these.
easy
I
and
love
cheap
these
were my
covers.
superlatives in high school.
Say again?
Easy and cheap were my superlatives in high school.
That's okay. And
Hey, mine was really cool.
I'm in a mood, man. Fuck.
apparently, couple of oddballs.
Ooh,
Got first-
Plastic Man. That's my dude.
yeah, that's from 88. 88. Fanboy, Sergei Aragones. Look at the creators on there, man.
Fanboy. That's great.
Great book. Fanboy #5.
Fanboy.
And then
Fanboy.
hold on one second. I'm sorry. Here it is. No, that's not it. This is the one. I haven't got the bag and board these yet because I pulled them out of the cheap bins. I figured Lady might like this one.
Buckaroo Banzai. I remember him, dude.
Hell yeah, man. That's Peter Weller. This is
A woman named John.
This is RoboCop and RoboCop #1. That's the same actor.
Yeah.
Same actor.
Oh yeah, that's
Got a copy of V for Vendetta I didn't have yet. Issue number
Which
2
one?
there. Number 2.
There's quite a few.
nice.
Is there another one that is there any others that you don't have? Because they have almost a whole run of that at my LCS, and they're not
Oh.
expensive.
Oh, I might let you know about that one.
Well, tell me the issues. I'll try to help you out.
And then
They won't just make fun of one another by actually helping one another out.
classic X-Men, one of the Dark Phoenix issues I didn't have. And then I stumbled across.
those classic X-Men covers are awesome.
They're all bangers, dude. They're all bangers. Not a single bad one in the lot.
Yeah.
And then I
agree.
came across a couple of real cool looking books from one of my favorite artists. We're all familiar with a fellow by the name of Liam Sharp, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Working on
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern right now. But you know, Liam had a huge career in Marvel UK in the 90s. He was actually the man, co-creator of a fella by the name of Death's Head 2.
Oh, nice.
And I got several of the Death's Head 2, the first 3 issues here, of his ongoing from the 90s. Now, listen, I'm going to say I think Liam's art has evolved over the years.
Oh yeah.
But a fantastic artist from the beginning of his career all the way till now. Here's another Marvel UK title I was not familiar with, but again, Liam Sharp. Work on it. Blood Seed.
That's such a weird name.
Okay.
This is 90s, baby. This is all
God, yes,
90s.
it is. That
90s.
screams 1994.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
If there's blood in your seed, you should see a doctor.
Now, one last Death's Head book. This doesn't have Liam on it, but this has another fella artist that y'all might know. Now I'm gonna cover up the blurb. Anybody got an idea who the artist is here?
Alan Baker.
Let me tell you right now. I'm gonna give you a hint. He was the artist of one of the biggest series last year and the year before. Biggest series. Huge.
Huge. I don't know.
Okay, I want everybody zooming in. Huge.
Huge.
Oh,
Something.
Gary Frank.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And this is from 92.
He has come a long way.
He has he not?
Or they just gave him more time.
That's 30 years, bro.
There's probably that too. And then check this out, man. You ever see this one, Sea Guy?
No, I've never seen this one.
Oh yeah,
Grant-
I have every issue. That was a good series.
It's a good series. Grant Morrison. He's like
Of course.
he's like a super
Morrison.
lame hero.
Beast.
Super lame.
LSD phase back during the 90s, right around the time of the Doom Patrol.
Yeah, pretty much.
Super guy.
And then I killed it again on the Captain Americas.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Nice.
All 50 centers.
Ooh.
Man.
I don't know what I'm doing to myself, to be honest with you, man. I've never collected Captain America. Why am I starting a new
Love
series?
that cover.
Peer pressure. Peer
U.S. agent.
You got to get the Mike Tech ones.
I mean, they're
Get the
cool.
Mike
I'm
Tech.
looking for him.
I'm gonna keep getting them. I'm just gonna keep going with it. Warlord 47.
That's Mike Grail, baby.
Yeah, this guy. I didn't see it, but it had a fold over right here. I try and flatten it.
I like that creature on the ledge.
Yeah, that's number 40,
Isn't it
47.
Like Black Panther? Almost.
It's the outline is, but the character is nothing like it.
Oh, okay.
That had an OMAC backup in it. That's Jim Starlin.
Oh,
Here's issue number 5.
Ooh, nice.
And one last book I wanted to show. And this has to go with that thing I talked to you about last week. Can I take a quick minute and talk about that?
go right ahead.
All right.
Do it.
Thievery issue.
So I'm going to share with you all a book that was sent to me by a Twitter friend. I'm not going to name him, but you know who you are. And I just want to say thank you very much. It was very kind of you. I will cherish this book as part of my collection because you sent it to me. So thank you. But that being said, I'm going to recommend, I mean, do what you want with your money. But I'm going to recommend you don't buy this book, and I'll tell you why.
Oh boy.
All right, so now
that was in like the top 20 or something on what is it? The Key Collector app.
yeah.
For this dumb reason. Now go ahead. What's the reason?
Okay, guys. So here's the deal with this book. This is Red Rooster. Red Rooster is published by Allegiance Comics, which is run by Mitch Breitweiser and his wife. I'm sorry, I don't know what her name is. I forget what her name is. I want to say Elizabeth, but that may be right. The Breitweisers. You're the only place you can buy this book is at your friendly neighborhood Walmart. Here's the story behind this, and here's why I don't recommend this book. If you walk into your neighborhood Walmart right now, 3,000 locations have a end cap or a wing panel on their end cap, which is wing panel just means like one of those cardboard things they put on the end of aisles on the side, and they fill it with all kinds of crap. This one has comics, and it's got 4 different titles. And this is an exclusive deal that Walmart has with the Breitweisers. The Breitweisers are providing them books. The reason I say I don't recommend buying these books is because the company here, Allegiance, they created this Red Rooster book as an IGG, an Indiegogo campaign for a graphic novel, not a comic, a graphic novel, original graphic novel. This Indiegogo completed 2 years ago to the terms of something around $200,000. Okay. A lot of money. 2 years later, the backers of that Indiegogo, and I'm going to tell you right off the bat, by and large, are folks that I have not gotten along with on the internet. All right? I'm just going to lay that right out. But nobody deserves, keeping it real, nobody deserves to have this happen to them, because what happened was they got $200,000 from Indiegogo campaign, never made with the book, and instead took that money, invested it into the business that they then used to launch their partnership with Walmart and put these books out. So now the Indiegogo OGN that those people paid for 2 years ago is instead being carved up and turned into 3 individual issues at Walmart that are going to come out over the course of the next 6 months. This is not, and listen, again, do what you want with your money, but this is a company that is being run by a guy who created this product, who went to directly to backers and said, hey, finance me, back me, I'll get you this book. You know, people said, I believe in you. Now, I'm going to say, personally, I think it was a lot of culture war nonsense that they got that much money. But you know what? Whatever the reason is, these guys got that money in good faith. And instead of making with the product that they offered those people, they're instead selling it to one of the largest multinational corporations in the world and stiffen the folks who backed them and gave them the money to get it started. I'm not trying to get up on my high horse on this one, but this is something that is not good for comics. It's not good for the longevity of the industry, and it's not good for the individual consumers, the fans who go out there and keep comic books alive. I've heard a lot of people say they think comics are dying. Well, this is a type of thing that kills comics, guys. Companies that absolutely take advantage, not even companies, individuals that absolutely take advantage of the individual fan, one reason or another, promises a product and then takes off. Now, I'm not saying that there's not other people who've done this. It's happened.
It's basically fraud, dude.
It is, but IGGs, this is why I will never back a project on Indiegogo, guys. This right here, because they're not saying anything to them. They're not taking the money back. They're not, nothing. You're on your own when you back IGG, boys and girls.
So for the most part, you're saying make sure that you get some kind of validation first that they're actually going to produce a product before saying, here's all my money and good luck with the rest.
And here's the thing: the Brightwisers, and I'm saying names, I'm probably going to get sued. The Brightwisers, yep. They've been around, and I'm going to tell you another thing. I read this book. This is right in my wheelhouse. I would be super excited about this if it wasn't for the fact that these people ripped their customers off, flat out ripped them off. They're not even responding to the Indiegogo anymore. All right. There's other YouTube channels that have dedicated some time to this and are looking into it. Go ahead and look them up if you like. I can't swear for the veracity of everything that anybody out there will say, but I'll say this: I know for a fact everything I told you is 100% correct tonight because I've been following it for the last 2 years. So there it is. You walk into your Walmart and you see this here. You, again, do what you want with your money, but remember, this is somebody who does not care about you as a fan.
This is your tip of the week. Do not pick up Red Rooster #1.
Right. I got 2 other things to show real quick. They're not comics, but I just got them today, and these are sweet.
Let's take a look.
These, I know they're silly, right? These are from the 1973 7-Eleven collector's series for DC Comics. The Marvel ones are a little bit better known. Okay. They had over 60 of these cups, and they have some really obscure characters. You see our man here. That's the Boy Commandos.
No one remembers them but me. And I only remember them because it was the thing of the past that I've seen in Key Collector app.
They're Simon and Kirby creation characters. They were Golden Age characters. I'm going to try and they're so super cool, man. These cups, I love these. I'm telling you right now, you're going to see me putting these up a lot because I'm going to need to collect these. I can't not have these.
In that case, my shop, which by the way is also having a sale coming up. That's not what I wanted to show. The shop that I go to every week is having a sale, and they have cups just like that, but they were all the 7-Eleven cups that were put out by Marvel. So if you're into those, I could suggest, hey, I know this guy that wants some, or I could say, hey, hold off, I'll work something in between.
Gotcha. All right. That's good to know.
It's either going to be on Miami Fresh Comics or Magic C Comics. It's going to be a claim sale this Sunday on the 7th at 11 a.m. in the morning. This is where I get my comics. So go ahead.
That's it for me. That's all I got.
That was it. Well, that was quick.
I had a few more, but they weren't as big of a deal.
You got?
Say again?
No, I was asking Lady Fantastic. Did she?
I just want to do this as kind of like a tease, but like Kirk, this is how much I have for you.
Yes.
Oh.
No way.
I think
No
it's
way.
I think it's like 19, and since it's 19, it bothers me, so I'll probably throw one more in. Just because I'm attentive.
I hate odd numbers too.
Also, I want to just show you a couple of oldies. Some of these are recent acquisitions and some are not. But I got this Action Comics recently, 425. It's in beautiful shape, and I just love it, man. It's just a great comic. It's a great presentation, man. That's America. And then this, man, this is one of my fucking favorite Neil Adams covers, period.
Ah, so cool.
Phantom Stranger with the little boy doing a fake gun, and the doctors, it's like a real bullet. It's crazy. And then this World's Finest, where Batman's on display. The Bat Witch must burn. I love it, dude. Love shit like that. And then finally, I found a Stalker. Stalker #1. And last but not least, I posted this today, but isn't this the money one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a great cover.
Yeah, I found it. I couldn't believe because I'd never seen it in real life until then. So I'm pretty happy to have it as an X-Men fan. Other than that, I'm good. Next.
And real quick, congratulations to Flashpoint Comics, who just hit 100 subs today. Congratulations. So, with a person that just hooted and hollered, I think you might have some comics, because why else would people be here unless you have, I don't know, comics on the mind?
I do. I have quite a few that I picked up today, and I have a couple of. I did it. I bought a couple of spec books. So first book that I picked up today is Finger Guns issue 2, and of course it is a wraparound cover, and y'all know I love me some wraparound covers.
Great rapid banner on that.
And I also am probably going to drop this too. Yeah, it's getting weird now. And I was only reading it for the Batman Who Laughed as well. And then I am digging this Sandman universe Hellblazer, so I can't wait to read this tonight. This is issue number 6. Y'all sleeping on this? Read this. Then I read the first issue of the Sumerian of Queen of the Black Coast, and this is like this great variant cover right here. Look at that. It's so awesome. So I had to pick that up. And I can't wait to read it tonight. And then, of course, I had to get Far Sector. So nice. I got it twice. I had to get a variant. I just wanted to support my LCS too. So I got the regular cover and the variant cover. And then I got a couple of sketch books. Here is some of them. I was, I guess, what is his name? Peel is pushing this movie to be made. So I got the whole run of
the Gargoyle.
I got issue 1. Great. I love these covers. Issue 2.
They're gorgeous.
Issue number 3. I can't wait to read it, by the way. I loved the show growing up when I was a kid. I did not know they had a comic book. So
you know that's not the Gargoyles.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, it's different.
It's not. Right? Oh shit! I did not know that.
There is a Gargoyles comic, but they're a little bit tougher to come by because they were animated style and they were kids.
It was based on the animated series, that comic.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
I can send you a link because they have them on.
Yeah. Let me know.
Yeah.
Still great covers. And then
So on those, there's like the first one's Bernie Wrightson, I think, and the second one's Bill Sienkiewicz. So I mean, you're getting good shit.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not like you got something shitty, bro. I have the same set. I love
them. And then I ended up getting this book. So I guess if they do X-Men, they're gonna probably do Ultimate X-Men. So I got this.
What you're saying.
So can't wait to read it. I haven't read any of the Ultimate stuff, so I
read the entire Ultimate X-Men like way back when it came out, and I read it fast. So
the first 75 issues are excellent.
It must have been good because I read it like I gobbled it up, and that's what I do.
Well, what I remember most from the series is that Colossus, when he turns into steel, he's not as strong as you think that he is. He's still a regular man, just with hard skin. So he takes MGH so he could really get strong, but it's killing him. Then you have Beast that's with Storm, and Storm's going, but why are you always worried about being around me? I pick my ass and pick my nose like anybody else. I'm going, this is actually some interesting writing. Okay, I will get the next issue. And it had like no tied down continuity until they made continuity, and then it got all bogged down. Ultimatum, anyone?
Not the best comic series of all time. Little cannibalism in there. That's not great. Jack Kirk. That's how the original Ultimates universe essentially ends is, I mean, it continues limpingly along after this, but with the Blob eating the Wasp alive.
Oh yeah, yeah. You talking about Ultimatum, right? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ends with a bang, it ends with a death rattle, and then finally with the
There's
whole thing
Ultimates and
collapsing.
then Ultimatum. Yeah.
I mean, at least we got Miles Morales and the Maker out of it.
Right. I mean, there was cool stuff that came out of it, but you know what that and listen, this series has been kicked around a lot, but you know, you kind of took something that was a very unique look, and then they're like, you know what, let's just make everybody die terribly, and that's what they did.
That makes no sense.
No, really didn't. Really
So
didn't.
there is fan service there for people that want to see Marvel characters murdered, and it's called Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe. I have the second print, but I'm not willing to pay $40 for the first. Oh, there we go. There's that's what's worth.
Yeah.
That was the high point.
Yes.
The Marvel Zombies.
Is that their first appearance, or is that their
No,
second?
their first appearance is in 22 and 23, or 21 and 22.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. So, but still.
What's up, Art Chemist?
What?
Yes.
Yeah, but this one I like a lot just because it's got Doctor Doom. I mean, Doctor Doom with Fantastic Four as zombies. I'm going to do it all day, dude.
And Dr. Doom.
Doom!
Oh,
Boom! Doom. Oh, and look, not Kurt, sorry. Miracleman.
Yo.
Twins.
Oh, we are. Oh, nice. Yeah, I just got that one. Actually,
So did I.
I can't believe I did not know that was a Kirby series until pretty much you guys told me.
Bro, get with the program.
Yeah. Well, you know, I remember.
I'm not on it.
I remember buying that when that came out, and you know, it was. I was watching the Super Friends cartoons, and you know, I was reading Justice League, and it was so different that I think it wasn't like it didn't pop. Obviously, I mean, they did like 3 or 4 series, but there's a diminishing return on each one of them. You know, so.
Kirk, do you want this? You like Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man, right? So this is all new Ultimate Spider-Man 28, and it's the last book of that series. Do you want it?
Oh, nice.
Do it.
Do you want it?
Sure.
Okay, that makes 20, and I can leave it alone, and I'm okay.
Yes.
Oh.
Sure. It's Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh, this is nice.
Yeah, I like supporting my Supreme Court justices.
I need to support my cat, which has a vet appointment.
We got a kitty in the building.
Yeah, Kitty needs another vet appointment on Monday because at first it was just the one eye, but now it looks like it's starting to go into the other one as well.
Oh no!
So I don't know what that means. She's still, active, but I don't know anymore. So more things that I'm just having to deal with on top of things to deal with.
What are her doctors? What did the doctors say?
So far, they don't think that it's a tumor. They think that she probably wound up scratching herself and it wasn't the other cat doing it. So I've just been giving her medications. I've been giving her eye drops every night. And now it's just the prednisone once every other day until Friday morning when I take her. So it's just one more day, and then the morning after I can finally take her in.
Or Nugget.
Good luck, man. Hope she's okay.
Thanks. And Dave Enrique says that we're all thinking, great shirt, lady, fantastic. Yeah, we need to
RPG.
like that.
She's cool, bro.
But comics on mine. Do you have any more comics to share?
Oh, me? No, that's all my books. That's all my books that I got.
Well, I said I've been making graphics, and I thought maybe it would be a good time to make a return to this graphic. The What's in the Briefcase. And if I'm doing what's in the I should
I
do some
love
like
that picture.
music or something to this. But if I'm showing what's in the briefcase, it means that I got a lot of books. So we're going to start off with books that I got from our very own Miracleman. He
Aw,
sent this to me. It's the run of The Death of Superboy from the Legion of Superheroes. It goes through a couple of these issues, so I have them in order now. And then I'll get to the briefcase. So we got issue 37, runs into issue 8 of Superman, followed up by Action Comics number 591. I'll be reading these in the next couple
So
days.
good.
And then it finishes out with issue 38. Is there an issue 39 or does it end right here? Because I thought it just went into an annual and that was it.
I believe the series actually continues. I'm going to double check real quick, but I don't think the series ends there. Let me just let's take a look here real quick. Not that there's not like 500 volumes of Legion of Superheroes.
Oh, good point. This is probably the volume 2, I think.
This one goes on for quite a while. At 39, I have up to issue 59, so it looks like it does go on for a while.
No, I'll be reading these. And these, strangely enough, I thought that I didn't have them. The only one that I don't have from this was the part 2, but this was a really good storyline. I don't know why I was missing a part 2, but thanks for sending these.
Yeah.
I'll probably, this one I'm going to rebag and board. But now I can finally read the series because I've been trying to collect little parts of these series.
Right on.
And this is the issue. When you said you were going to send me a ear copy, is fine because I have like the first print and everything fine.
Oh, right.
This issue I got way back in the day because I remember there was a time when Superman did kill, and it was this issue.
Yeah, that sets up a quite a long storyline in Superman where he basically cracks, starts pretending he's a vigilante named Gangbuster. Realizes he's doing that when he's sleeping, and then exiles himself into space.
Wow.
Yeah. Quite a long storyline comes out of this.
I can kind of see why they were thinking of killing Superman then.
Right.
Well, in that case, let me move the camera up a little bit so I can go ahead and open up this briefcase. As I move it right on over to here.
What's in the briefcase?
What's in the briefcase?
Show us what's in the briefcase.
Since I've been saying this was a really short week, that is completely true.
But you gotta.
That's a short week.
What happened?
What the heck?
I'm sorry?
Who did that art?
On which?
Oh, this is Clayton. I think it's Clayton Crane. No, Gabriel.
I like it.
There was a Cho and Hughes cover for that too, man.
I like this. I want to see all of them. I need to go and check out my LCS.
So there was an Adam Hughes cover that was really nice, but out of all of them, I preferred this cover more than any of them just because it reminded me of the 80s. It had that feel. It had the logo to it. Had that old DC logo.
Yeah, I've never been, there's like one cover of Adam Hughes, I think, that I really liked. No, actually, maybe J. Scott Campbell, actually. I don't know. Fuck.
The Campbell one was
J.
nice.
Scott Campbell, all of his women look like his wife. Which is to say they all look the same.
Is it? Is that what you're saying?
All of his women look the same. The same face, the same body, the same everything. Prove me wrong or fight me. Don't fight me, I'd lose. So Detective Comics 1022. I don't know how I got this, but I didn't get the Action 1022. Especially considering I've been actually reading Action and not so much the Detective. This is the cover I preferred from the Wonder Woman that came out today. I could have done with maybe some better choice on the color for the whole thing, like maybe make it all yellow or a harder red, but I don't know. Let's see if I can fix fix the light on that.
That's a cool cover, but you're right. The red looks odd on it.
Yeah, it's like it should have been a
build
little
it off.
darker or a little lighter.
Yeah.
I like it, and I don't know if there's any first appearance or anything because to be honest, I dropped off when G. Willow Wilson stopped writing it.
Right.
Are you all questioning the colors of our flag?
I question everything.
God damn it. I'll not be here with a bunch of tyrants.
We are pirates.
I said tyrants.
Tyrant.
I was doing my best king of the hill kind of thing, but
that's
so
Now,
moving
this I'm
on.
looking forward to reading. And it's even by the original writer, or artist, Derek Robertson, who he's really cool to interact with on Twitter.
Hell yeah.
I didn't know that the last series finished, so I'll probably just get the first issue, and if it's any good, I'll get the next one. But I'm dropping a lot of titles in soon, and I'll get into that in just a moment.
Oh, you got it.
You were telling me to pick up. I knew that this was going to be the first appearance of Lady Shredder, but it was from a reprint from a company that's already not printing a lot. The artwork inside is it's grotesque. I looked through it, and I'm sorry to say for Fosco, but the art is some of the worst I have ever seen in a comic book.
Yeah, I don't care for it myself.
Rob, do you have any
really
Black
bad if
Knight?
Miracleman doesn't like it.
What do you
I
say?
don't have any comics.
I don't know.
Nice.
Now this I have
shit.
2 of because Lady Fantastic asked for one of them. So I said, sure, I'll pick up another copy of the first appearance of Taint.
Thank you, buddy.
Virus. Why do I keep calling this character Taint? I don't know why.
Taint?
Taint.
Yeah.
This seems like the right name.
Well, he said taint and then virus, and I'm like, do you have the Rona? I don't know what you're trying to tell me.
Fair
It was
enough.
mixed messages.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I don't have any Black Knights for sale, and I really don't sell comics, but that might be changing soon enough. So that one, I'm going to be sending you one of these copies, Lady Fantastic.
Thank you, friend.
Welcome, welcome. Now, these are books that I picked up at
Yes.
today.
What
Sexy.
number? 243?
This is
Got it.
243.
I don't have that.
Yeah.
I don't have that one.
That
They're
whole
trying to
era
fix his
is
brain, right?
awesome.
Issue 246.
I
I
agree.
don't have that one. Fuck.
Oh, She-Hulk. I forgot she was a part of the
I got that one.
It's a great show.
258.
Nice.
Fire Lord.
Lord Kick.
I love
Fire Lord
that
with his
She-Hulk.
fire Q-tip.
Some 263. What's in the
Oh,
cocoon?
nice.
Very cool.
What's in that cocoon? It's mighty, right?
Oh, I don't
It's
know.
a hot chick.
We got some 90s. This is right in the height of when X-Men was on TV, so I'm looking
Ooh,
forward
Black
to
Knight.
Yeah, it's pretty corny.
Yeah, I'm sure. It can't be serious. Just like this. This can't be serious either. I mean, look at that yellow cover. It's one of the issues I was missing.
Gorgeous.
but we'll get
Gorgeous.
there.
Very cool.
Oh, they're going to start writing
Oh,
new
I have that
stories
issue.
to continue that
Cover.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles G-Back saying.
Yes.
Well, if they can get a better artist, awesome. If not, I am not going to be buying any more than just that issue.
Yeah, I would
don't have any
recommend.
other recommendation.
I would recommend picking up the ones that come out because these are ones that they only released as fanzine production before. So these the ones that are coming up next are going to have never actually really been released.
So I should pick those up.
I would recommend letting because
Yeah.
only like 2 more issues or 3 more issues. It's not many.
It's worth it. I mean, just to see what those rare things that
I think I have the first like 3 issues of this run.
Yeah.
I'm never going to pay $100 for a copy
Right.
of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles unless it came from the 80s.
Right.
That's just me. I could be wrong. This was another one I was missing from the Serpent Society, or Serpent Squad, rather. I don't know.
Sweet.
Society. And picked up issue 196 with a brown costume of Wolvie.
Nice.
It was $2, but there's a stain in the back. I can live with it. This is when the Thing mutates.
Yes, I love it.
Love it.
I love it.
But this is the issue that's known for turning Sharon Ventura, who was Ms. Marvel at the time, into a female version of
Ms. Thing.
Ms. Thing. Here's another F missing.
So these dudes that write these comics live out their fantasies by doing this gender bending shit.
But, especially when you look in this issue, because you have some women that are dressed in like head to toe PVC, boobies showing, spikes on the outfit. Someone was into S&M while writing this, or drawing it, or both together. Maybe at the same time. I don't know. We don't kink shame on that.
It's like they draw their wet dream, and it's like, okay, that's practical.
I think the trope of the era was just saving the damsel in distress.
I love that.
Arlen Ellison that's writing it.
Those Hulk's covers are awesome.
Very cool.
That's when they made real men, Hulk men.
The Hulk man.
Hey, Hialeah, brother, you better watch out.
What's up, Hialeah?
Better watch out, brother.
Hey, Hialeah, I was just at
Got the whole Not Dear Mid crew at you.
Yeah, I picked up all these at Phil's Comics today, which is also Raul, aka Hialeah Comic Bros shop. So I only have a few more of the Demon on the Bottle storyline left to go, because much like my X-Men, I pick up things a little bit at a time until I finally have everything I need.
That's what I do.
Yep.
I like it. Just switching around on different titles piece by piece. Oh, Rob!
Yes, Rob. Nice.
Very cool.
Nice. I want
Rob, what number is that?
This is issue number 27.
Pop to me real quick.
You want it?
Does he
Go to me real quick.
become a herald in that one?
Oh, you have issue.
Oh, yes.
Nice. Very nice.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm working on a Rob run.
Lucky. I'm working on it bit by bit because Aaron Myers, the guy that Miracleman and I follow, he winds up talking about Rom a lot. So if this guy that is a huge comic collector, also a reader, is a big fan of Rom, I guess I should be too, despite the fact I have a few issues here and there. I have never read a single one. This one is another one of those spec buys I got today. It was only $4 at Phil's Comic Shop. This is the first appearance of the Time Variance Authority.
Yeah.
Issue was the first appearance of Justice Peace, which was with the direct ripoff off of Judge Dredd. Now, the next issue that you're going to see... what was that?
No, it's a great cover.
It's all right. I never would have thought that this would have grown to be like a $15 book, but fine, okay, thank you.
Oh, wow.
Anything to drive up the price of a comic book. Speaking of driving up the price of a comic book, I got this next one for $3.99 today because I thought it was something, but I wasn't 100% sure until I got home. And I was right, ladies and gentlemen. I was dead on.
Yes.
Now, can anybody in the chat or anybody tell me what's the significance of this?
I can, but it's because you said so already.
Same.
So I'll give it like a second. So the way you can identify this is a second print, but it's one that's not easy to come by. You'll identify it by the barcode right here, and you'll identify it by the adventure begins. There's a very similar kind of thing that's going on with the Batman issue 457, I believe. It's the first Tim Drake as Robin, where the second print of that is something that it's so rare. But this one here, $3.99, and on Key Collector app it says it goes for about like $125.
Great.
I'll say thank you all day long.
Well done, sir.
This is one of those things that back in the day, this just would have been a worthless throwaway second print, and I was missing this. I just I had to hope that maybe $4. Let's see what I get. Get home. It was exactly what I thought it was. So it pays to, just like art history, try and figure out what everything is. So when you bring it home, you're bringing home stuff you want, not stuff that you're just planning on getting rid of eventually, which is these 9 boxes back here. Because when you're looking at this room, a lot of people go, wow, that's an awesome room. I'd love to live there, until you realize there's still new comics coming out week to week. It's nice that Marvel's not putting out any books this week, and DC's kind of dropped some stuff. But before we get into the subject at hand, I'm going to read off a quick little list here, and then we can start the discussion. So the discussion tonight, for those that are not aware, is Famous Comic Book Uprising. This is the discussion we will be having tonight, now that we are 55 minutes into the show. So this is a list of 12 books that have been canceled by Marvel. They are going to digital only, meaning whatever you've gotten so far, you will never see it in individual print format unless Marvel decides to change their mind, which they could. So as follows, they are 2020 Ironheart, Hawkeye, Freefall, Marvel Spider-Man.
I'm so mad about that.
Strikes. What was that?
I said I'm so mad about the Hawkeye one.
I was almost about to pick it up, but the Hawkeye, since, I don't know, Star, that was a new series. That was a spinoff from Captain Marvel. We're not going to see the end of that. And I just got issue 3. I was about ready to read it. Now I just don't want to anymore. That's an effect. Ravenclaw, cancel, digital only. Avengers of the Wasteland, cancel, digital only.
No!
Here's another one that I know you read, Ant-Man. Ghost Spider.
I know.
Revenge of the Cosmic Ghost Rider. I like
Are
that
you
one.
serious?
Yeah. I don't know if it's if they care whether or not one of their biggest creators created it, but it's not around no mo. Only in digital. And I like the character that was just a regular human character that Frank Castle was trying to save. I guess I'm never going to find out what happens to that little girl. 2020 Force Works, Scream, Curse of Carnage, and Valkyrie, Jane Foster.
Man, motherfucker, that ain't cool.
No!
That's some bullshit. It's the only thing that was real well written.
And when it comes to DC, I think it's Batgirl. They're not going to finish the very last issue. So this is where we're at in the comic book world today. Rob letting loose with the shirt collar unbuttoned. It's been a long week. It's been a long month. One of these memes that I created for putting on Instagram the other day was, I thought that April wasn't going to be as bad as March. I was wrong. I thought that May wasn't going to be as bad as April. I was wrong. Welcome to June. I don't know what's going to come next. So because of this, I am just chilling out. You know what? I don't even need this jacket anymore. We're just going to have a very informal episode tonight. We are just going to try and have our unbuttoned selves do a little conversation about comic books, because there's real stuff going on in the country. And if I'm just here talking about the comics, making people feel a little bit better about not having to turn on the news for a few minutes, I would rather do that. So with comic books, we're now seeing that so many things are turning to digital. We are now seeing that books are just being outright canceled. And if they decide to start with a new issue number 1, is this going to become a similar famous uprising as did back in the, mid-90s or so, when they had the death of Superman? People kind of revolted by all these overprinted books, and they just gave up en masse. Are we going to see that again? Are we going to see maybe that Marvel is still paying people to produce comic books? DC is still paying people to produce comic books that are not being printed. Some of them may never be printed. Are we going to continue, or are we going to just start saying, hey, I have a list back here, is all of my back issues, and that's what I'm going to do. So let's open it up, and I will also open it up to the chat. If anybody wants to go ahead and join, feel free to do so. So where are we at? I mean, how do you feel about all these turning into digital only?
I think it's sad.
Fantastic?
It's just it's not the same as the tangible thing. You know that's true, right? It's stupid.
You know what it's like?
And
It's
could
like
you even see saying that a first appearance in a trade paperback, or being that trade paperbacks start at about $12 to $15.
Yeah.
Do you see trade paperbacks becoming a thing that people want to say, oh, I'll pay $100 for that graphic novel for that? So, you saw this. You saw what I posted on Instagram.
Yeah.
The first appearance of Darkseid is no bigger than my pinky fingernail. Do you want to pay like $100 for a trade paperback so you can get a first appearance that might be in a trade paperback for about something as small as this?
Well, it's just like, I think part of the thrill of being a comic collector is the hunt, finding the book, sniffing out the book, and that there's a finite number, and that with as time gets larger between when it was published and the present time, the scarcer it becomes. I mean, it takes a while depending on how many were printed, but like, what the fuck? I mean, you can put any amount of data on the net. It just completely ruins the incentive of being a collector. Fuck. But
you know what it's like switching to the switching to digital. You know what it's like? It's like when you were a kid and your mom bought Flavor Aid and she was like, "It's the same thing." It ain't the same thing. It ain't the same thing. I know what you mean, lady.
I want Cocoa Puffs, not chocolate cereal.
Right. Flavor Aid.
I want to hold it. I want to be able to smell it. I want to fan the pages. I want to be able to do whatever the fuck I want with it.
Listen, you bring up a valid point. This is weird to talk outside of our community, but we all know what we're talking about when we say the smell of comics is something that is part of the experience. Whether it's new, whether it's old, as long as it ain't funky, that
I
smell.
don't fucking sniff USBs, and there's a reason.
I will huff the hell out of this when I read
this right here, sexual chocolate.
No, digital.
Yeah, that's right, man. That's right. And here's the other thing about digital, and it's nothing against the people that like digital. I'm not bashing it, but you got these guys that are finishing off, and then you have a bunch of series that went digital only from the get, like that Deceased. Now maybe that was planned, but it seems awfully odd that it went to digital, dropped to digital, no print, and that all happened during the COVIDs.
Yeah.
I think that much like how politicians will try and float something just to see what the reaction will be, like voting by mail is fraud. Of course it's not fraud, but they'll throw these things out there just to see how much traction they'll get.
Right.
Same thing with comics. They'll go, well, we're going to cancel these for digital only, and then just sit back and wait. Because like comic books all the way from the 1930s till today, they're not going to know what sales volumes look like until about months down the road.
That's valid, very valid point.
And the thing that I've been arguing with, and I can't even say arguing because it's just a fact. We don't know because we don't know their stats from their investors. We don't know how liquid they are. We don't know how much actual capital, cash on hand that Marvel or DC or Image, we know IDW doesn't have much. And there's plenty of companies that are almost on their way out the door right now.
I mean, what is Marvel owned by Disney? They're not fucking going anywhere.
Marvel and DC
closed their parks, their theaters are closed, their movies are being dropped onto a streaming platform that is.
I'm still going to watch Marvel movies. I'm still going to read comics. The fuck they're especially just like GBAC's nerd jam room. He's like, I can still read comics when the power goes off for days after hurricanes.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? I can read comics after all the COVID zombies come and try and kill me.
Same.
Like, I'll fucking barricade my wall with comics.
Right. Right.
This is a barricade.
Yeah.
Of love that we've built around ourselves because we don't know how to make friends.
I have to watch people on YouTube and discern whether they are normal enough where they're not going to try and harass me every 2 minutes of the day, or try and stalk me or kill me. That's happened. Or weird stuff. It's hard to find like a friend, especially in the real world. You want to go somewhere? You want to go out to eat? Well, how much does that shit cost? Well, I want to go out to eat in Wynwood. Fuck Wynwood. That's going to cost at least $40 for the cheapest thing on the menu. So trying to find friends in the modern era is expensive. So it's always doing it online, but then you have to hope that they're not like crazy people like me. But at least I'm the more harmless variety.
I mean, all of my friends have to have a slice of weird in them, but a weird that I can be comfortable with. You know what I mean? Like, I like weird. I like idiosyncratic.
I do too.
You know, I don't like people who kill kittens. You know what I'm saying? Not that weird. I don't fuck with that.
I don't know if that counts as weird. I think that might just
That's
count as
homicidal, I guess. You're right.
That's more psychopathic,
Yeah, I mean, everybody has their own flavor, and I mesh well, I think, with this flavor of idiosyncrasies.
I'm trying to run through my head of any scenario in which murdering a kitten.
I don't. That came from a very dark place, and I don't want to talk about it.
Let's move along. Let's move along.
It's done. It's done.
Man, I had therapy last week. I'm fucked up. No,
now, if we're talking about dogs, I have a dog over there in the other room.
no.
At 2:00 in the morning, which is normal because for the last several weeks, I've been watching YouTubers. I've been watching Harley season 2. It's like 2 or 3 a.m. because I know my ass doesn't have a job coming at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh, my shit doesn't start till 11. I'm going to sleep in. So now if it's like 3 o'clock because I'm trying to get to sleep a little earlier, hoping that things get back to somewhat near normal, I have this dog going, rattle, rattle, rattle on the cage. I'm like, oh, okay, she's awake. Oh, that means she's going to shit the cage. Better get up. So then you have to let her out, and she sniffs around for like half an hour, only to go, I'm not doing anything for you. Goes right back into the cage. I go back to bed. 10 minutes later, bark, bark, bark. I open up the door, shits the cage.
I don't do dogs, man. I like dogs, but they got to be outside. There's nothing wrong with a dog. Where I live, it's just not amenable. And I don't connect to them like I do with cats. Like, cats are assholes, and I love it.
I like
Cats
dog.
They want attention for a little while, and then they want you to go away.
Right. That's the perfect pet. The perfect pet is the one that's like, I don't want to have nothing to do with you except on select instances under my conditions. Perfect animal. Perfect animal, though. That's the type of relationship we should all strive for. Very single, small dose friendship. Hey, I want to be your friend right now. Okay, we're completely walking away from each other. We're just going to go off and do our own thing now. Perfect type of friendship.
We might hiss from time to time.
How did we get on cats? How did this?
Something about I like weird, but not the kill kitten weird.
Right, here we go. Okay. So back to
I
comics.
would say this was going to be a very loose episode. We could go anywhere on this. I didn't make graphics. I didn't make anything to channel where we're going. I figured let's go full on Holden Caulfield, stream of consciousness.
I have a Uprising book I wanted to show. I've shown this one before, but it's a cool book.
Let's
It's a cool
see.
book.
I'm blowing you up.
So Jack Kirby's Hunger Dogs. I'm pretty sure I've shown this one before. This is one of DC's early original graphic novels. They did a whole series. Most of them are really cheap and not great. Like one's about like a traveling gun-toting preacher, but not like preacher. More like the Cross and the Switchblade, Spire, Christian comics. They have a couple like sci-fi ones. Anyway, The Hunger Dogs is actually an integral part of the Fourth World story for Jack Kirby. And the whole series is about the and let me tell you what, people say I don't like politics and comics. Man, this whole series, this whole book is about the Hunger Dogs, which are the ghetto dwellers, the rank and file, the chattel, as they're treated. Hey, thanks a lot, G-Back. Basically the working class, which is really the slave class of Apocalypse, rising up against Darkseid, the ultimate evil. Now, anybody who can read this book and tell me that Jack Kirby, originally Jack Kurtzberg, was not making a statement with this book does not understand subtext. This is very clearly an example of a lot of World War II themes. In World War II, the Jewish victims of the Nazis were forced into ghettos. Talk about a power fantasy, thinking about the ultimate evil, which is, that's clear genocide. Clear analogy there. And the working class, not the working class, the slave class rising up against all odds. I mean, they're all just basically regular people, even though they're apocalyptians. They're all regular people.
It's not even relevant. It doesn't even seem relevant right now.
Right?
I'm good with irony, some people tell me.
But this is if you're a fan of Kirby at all, if you're into the Fourth World story, we got the New Gods movie coming, which from what I hear is going to feature Mr. Miracle and Big Barter quite a bit. This is 100% classic Kirby. First of all, look at that.
He took acid.
Oh yeah.
This is acid.
Yeah. Good acid.
Yeah, good acid. That's Kirby post acid.
Right. Basically, everything he did. What's that?
What? Nothing. I didn't say anything.
Oh. DC Kirby was hippie Kirby.
Right. DC Kirby. Well, he went back to college, from what I understand, on the GI Bill.
Oh, that would have done it. That makes a lot of sense. Good for him.
Right. And listen, if you are on Twitter and you don't follow, Jack Kirby's grandson is on there. If you don't follow Jack Kirby's grandson on there, you just do a search, Jack Kirby grandson. I forget what his name is, to be honest with you. But I followed him a long time ago. There's Kirby Crackle Art. That's a good one too. But Jack Kirby's grandson's on there. He posts pics of Jack, like just the craziest stuff, sitting at the drawing table. What is going on here, guys? What's going on here? You see this? This is the ultimate fantasy of, being able to look back on something that was just horrible. Jack wasn't in the ghetto. He was in the Warsaw ghetto or anything like that. He wasn't forced into the Nazi concentration camps. He was in America. He was here.
He has definitely seen Hieronymus Bosch's Garden of Earthly Delights, because that looks like hell, and he just wanted to do his own riff, and oh my God, could he pull it off?
I mean, he was a Jewish American that went and fought in World War II, right?
Right. Oh yeah. Jack Kirby has there's two stories that everybody knows Kirby tells. Story number one comes from Mark Evanier, who says at one point in time, somebody called up from the lobby of the Marvel building, called up to from the lobby to the offices, and they said, we want to meet this guy who draws this disgusting Captain America comic and show him what real Nazis would do to Captain America. And Mark Evanier's exact words are, to the horror of everybody in the office, Kirby hung up the phone, started rolling up his sleeves, and headed to the elevator.
Oh, damn.
And it was three guys down there. And by the time Jack got down there, they had all beat it. That's a true story. That's a true story from Mark Evanier.
He was gonna tear that ass up.
Yeah. Story number 2 is any creator who knew Jack, who got the absolute honor to meet him. And I'm going to tell you right now, Jack Kirby is one of my original heroes. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You know, I found his superpower stuff when I was a kid. He was one of the first creators whose name I knew. Commandy was one of my favorite stories of all time. I read that all the time.
But he used this medium for social justice. You know what I mean?
From the beginning. I mean, but
And
the
if
other
you
story,
feel that, then you don't know the essence of Kirby.
the other story about him is every creator who knew him said he had all kinds of stories. He had every kind of story. The man knew a lot of things. He lived a lot of life. He'd been a lot of places. But every single story he had ended with how he once killed 4 Nazis himself.
Shit.
You start telling him,
There's a mountain on my wall. Look.
But
that, Rob?
he had personal reasons to really.
Right.
yeah, it's kind of like saying, hey, I know your mom just died. Let me go ahead and walk on her grave and urinate on it.
Right.
You don't do that. Some people just don't have the self-awareness just to shut the fuck up.
I'd be one of those persons that from time to time.
Oh, I've always been that person.
Yeah.
I've been the type of person that when 2 people have been fighting like cats and dogs for like 30 minutes straight, and then there's a silence, you know, that eerie silence that you could cut the tension with a butter knife. And I'm the type of person that would walk right in going, whose dog died? Like everyone just looks at me and just goes,
Fuck off.
I'm that person.
By the way, Not Near Mint is a show that's intended for audiences over the age of 18. If you're under the age of 18, please don't watch this show. It's not that we don't want you as a fan. It's just that we just can't let you watch what we're doing. Or saying, in the case of Lady Fantastic.
If you want someone to sully the good name of something, just call me.
We ain't got a good name. Don't worry about it.
Worst. I mean, who's going to be more sullied than the unsullied? Oh, wait, no, I'm so sullied. I would not be able to be part of that tribe in Game of Thrones.
Those were weird characters, man.
I'm just glad it's over.
You know, I got another cool revolutionary style book here. And I'm sure you guys know this one.
Oh, yeah.
Black Summer. Warren Ellis. Juan Jose Rip. Just,
I heard
gorgeous.
the series before.
Zombie cover there.
I remember he did like Wolverine, the best there is.
I
think that's the name of the series.
Um,
And his art is so hyper detailed, but for some reason he gets about as much Marvel and DC art work thrown his way as Tim Vigil. And
right.
it's because the artwork is eerily similar.
He did Contagion, that miniseries not too long ago. I thought that was a pretty good series too.
Yeah.
Which was FF, and all the street heroes in New York got infected by something. They slowly, it was like, aliens one by one they fell. But he doesn't get a lot. He does a ton of stuff for Avatar / Boundless, but you're not going to see any books from them this summer, so you can't buy anything from him new. But for those of you not familiar with the series, here's the 25-cent version. This gentleman's name is Horus. He is part of the 7 Guns. Here's the remainder of the 7 Guns. This is the zombie variant. They don't normally all look like this. It's a horrible glare. I'm sorry. There's a zombie variant there. Basically, this is the 0 issue. It opens up literally with Horus here, who is the most powerful of the 7 Guns, walking into a press conference that the president's supposed to walk into and informing them that he has killed the president, the vice president, most of his advisors, and several Secret Service agents, which he regrets. And he's done it because he believes that we are no longer free, that the war in Iraq is based on a lie, this is very real world. It came out after World Trade Center was attacked, and that's actually a key point in this, where the 7 guns were called out of the States when it was attacked. So he summarily executes the president and the cabinet.
That's all right.
Right. But in the real world, what's the possibility of that happening? If there were real world superpowered people.
In our nation, it's very little. There's a very little chance that would happen, because there's ways that a president can be peaceably removed from office.
I agree.
I know. Yes, we all chortle, but
yes, voting.
Voting, it's a thing.
I don't know. Go on brand in November.
Okay, I did a good thing today. Can I just talk about a thing?
Do it.
And I'm not trying to toot my horn. It's because I felt really shitty today, because like any employee relationship, sometimes you don't see eye to eye. And so me and my boss, I made a mistake, dude. I fucked up and I owned it. But I think he needed me to recognize the importance of the situation and how much it meant or whatever. I don't know. Nothing bad happened, but still, whatever. It was supposed to be a learning experience. I was emotionally exhausted when I left the lab, and I was walking out, and this man, I think he was maybe mentally slow a little bit, and obviously he was a disabled vet that just came from the VA, because the VA hospital is right next to where the research building I work at is. And so we'll see lots of vets, and they're funny, dude. If you go out and sit with the old vets, they will shoot the shit with you. They are hilarious. But he just wasn't right. And he's like, "Can you help me?" So I gave him all the change out of my purse. It was just change, but there's a few quarters in there. And then he was like, can you take me to Kentucky or whatever? It's just 72 miles from here, this place. And I was like, no, man, I can't. But I'll show you a little grace, and I'm going to get you an Uber, and I'm going to get them to take you to the closest Greyhound. You got a pocket full of cash right there, and maybe with a little more grace, you can get closer to there. And I don't know, man, it made me feel good. And then I left.
Nice.
That was a definite good deed of the day, and I can't compare to that. Everybody on this show here, I feel, is just such a good person, and sometimes I have to wonder, I don't feel like I deserve you guys.
Man, I don't know. I really like the Dalai Lama, and he says something like, what do we all crave as humans? And it's warmth and kindness. So if you recognize that, you should try to emanate that. And I wouldn't want to be that man. I wouldn't want to be in that position. I didn't have the money to give to him, but I had the resources to get him closer. And it made me feel better to help.
Golden rule. If you're in a similar situation, would you want at least somebody to recognize you, listen to you, help if they possibly could? And you might forget the person a year from now, but that guy will probably remember you to his last dying day.
Well, the thing is I'm not saying this for recognition. I'm saying that if you're in a shitty mood, one of the best ways to turn it around is to give to others, to try and help someone else. Yeah. It'll really fucking make you happy. It'll make you recognize how much gratitude you should have over the things that you have. It made me feel more aware of how blessed that I am, even though I felt crummy walking out of the lab. So, I don't know.
You can't control what happens to you, but you can definitely control how you react to it. And I'd say that there'd be some people that right after walking out of the lab sees a person like that, and maybe they'd take it out on it. Instead, you did the direct opposite of that and put your best self forward. And for that, we thank you.
It just makes me feel like, all right, I just feel better when I try to help people. I think everyone does, right?
Yeah, of course.
Miracleman, you're being awfully silent.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Yes. No, you're right.
I try to help people as much as I can, no matter how small it is, whether it's holding the door open, helping somebody, carry their bags, anything I can do to help. It's no skin on my. I'm not gonna rush.
It's the little things, like, and if you read J.R.R. Tolkien, like Gandalf talks about how the Hobbit is like one of the most like solid creatures in the realm because they appreciate the little things and that they hold a steadfastness that's maybe not appreciated. I don't know. I feel like a hobbit. Whatever. Fuck it.
But there's nothing wrong with being a hobbit.
I know.
Hobbits are loyal. They're funny. They're peaceful, and they
like their drink. And they like
they enjoy a nice pipe at the end of a long day. With
they have furry feet.
Right. Right. At the start and the end of a long day.
Or in the middle of it, they have breakfast and second breakfast.
All their breakfast and lunch and dinners with
and
them.
noonsies and 11sies.
It's just the hairy feet that puts me off.
Very feet,
Hey,
but I can make it happen.
I'm a hairy dude. So it don't matter to me. I won't pull a Perry and show my toes.
I'm not very hairy.
We'll just say that they're like little Wolverines.
There's that.
Yeah.
That's a good description. That's a good description.
And I think also, like in the comic community, you can tell that people fucking love to give by the AOKs we send to each other. Because there's nothing that makes you happier than seeing somebody get a book they really care about. It's just like, you get so excited, like yourself. I don't know. I love that shit, dude.
That's my favorite part about that. Well, there you go. Actually, speaking of, I think I'm going to put together. No, never mind. I'm going to put together a couple more sets of those. I think everybody on the team should read that one. But that's the thing that I've always enjoyed the most about comics and comic collecting in general. And Mindshift, are you frozen? Is your camera frozen? Oh no. Okay. That excitement that you see with people when you share with them when they learn something new. That's actually the reason I got on Twitter to begin with, is I wanted to talk to people about comics, and had really great talks about people who were fans for the last 10 or 20 years, which is a long time, but in comics is as we all know, a drop in the bucket. It's not a long time, and we've got so many new. Well, exactly, and we've had so many new fans since the movies started. Whether they're single issue collectors or trade collectors, whatever, digital collectors. There's so many new fans who want to know about this stuff, and they get really excited when you talk to them about it. And that feels great, man. That's like the best, most satisfying feeling in the world, right there. That and like helping a small baby who needs it. That's the other most satisfying. I swear I'm not a sociopath.
No, so I think we were talking about weren't we going to talk about kind of like the Image Boys and stuff?
Oh yeah, let's talk about the Image Boys.
So yeah, all right. I'm just going to first off say that there's a really great documentary on YouTube about the Image Boys, and I don't know, just type in Image Comics or Image History or whatever, Image Comics History. There's a great one, and it's like all of the guys.
Like 4 parts,
huh? I think it
like
maybe
4 parts. I think, right?
Yeah, Sci-Fi or Wired or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's on YouTube, and it's basically they get all of the Image Boys, the guys that were part of it, and interview each of them, and they just tell the story, and it's really great. And I'm going to pass it to somebody else.
I have a bit of the background on the company. Actually, I wanted to bring up. So they started in '92. That's when they broke off, And in 2017, for anybody who may have missed it, in 2017, on their 25th anniversary, they created 1,992 blind box variant boxes, blind bag variant boxes, there we go, stuffed with alternate covers, autographs, all kinds of stuff in a black bag. And they sold in the shops. Now there's something like 3,300 shops in the world, or sorry, in North America. So there weren't even enough of these for every single comic shop to get one. That's how limited the blind box was. And within those blind boxes, it was $10 a book. You don't know what you're getting. And I pulled out a variant cover to Packless. And I pulled out another one that was a variant cover to some other book I'd never heard of. And I was like, all right, I mean, that's cool, whatever. Next guy pulled out the final issue of the Negan story. Because that's when they were doing the Negan story for Walking Dead in the Image Plus magazine. So this book only had come out as part of this blind box variant. So if you find that original, when that one first came out, that one was dropping for about $300. So if you run across them, and it's the final part of the Negan story, that's what they come from. They come from the 1992, the 25th anniversary, one of the 1,992 boxes they made. Very rare. This black bag says 25th image anniversary right on the front.
All these blind boxes, mystery boxes, raffles. I have gotten so surgical about getting things lately that anytime I hear the word mystery, unless I know what I'm getting, I'm okay missing a book or two. And as much as I like this issue that just came out today of, where is it? This Catwoman, which it looks really pretty, and I'm sure the stories are probably going to be interesting. It takes up a lot of room.
Yeah.
And it might not seem like that much, but when you have every single Wednesday new books, it's time to start cutting back on mystery boxes, on black bags, on anything where I don't know what's on the inside, because otherwise it'll find its way in these 9.
Oh. Yeah, those things do start to really eat on you. But anyway, the history of Image. Did somebody look it up? Rob, did you look it up?
So, I looked up I know about the history of Image because I've lived it.
Right.
But from what I remember back in the early days, that they just were not getting the creator rights to make whatever they wanted and then have royalties come back to them. Back in the day, we had creators like Bill Mantlo wind up getting so poor that he needed a Kickstarter just to be able to live on. There's others that went completely homeless. Another Bill comes to mind. Bill, he worked on Wonder Woman. He is the one that did all the stories with the fallen covers. He is homeless now.
Oh,
so the Image Boys looked at all these people from the 80s, the 70s, 60s, 40s that wound up penniless. And they went, you know what? They're not paying us to create things for them. They're just giving us a set amount. They're not paying us health benefits. We're just 1099ers, freelance employees. Why don't we go start up this other thing? I mean, this guy, Dave Sim with Cerebus, he's been doing it for years. He's been fine. In fact, whenever he shows up places, he says, I'll buy drinks for everyone. I'll buy your dinners. I have money coming left and right. So they decided to start up on their own. Take it away, Miracleman.
Well, I mean, look at the books that started off there and the creators that did. First of all, Image itself completely changed the comic industry. The big two had a stranglehold at that point. There was a lot of other small companies that were out there, but most of them had kind of died off by that period of time. A lot of the smaller independents had gone under, particularly the ones that gave creator rights. So when Image broke off and started doing their own thing, I just showed that Spawn book earlier today. There's a good example for you right there. One of the original creator-owned books in the And of course, now I can't find it to put it up. But one of the original creator-owned books, still going strong today. You know, a lot of people don't like McFarlane. And I'll tell you right now, personally, if you know anything about the history of Miracleman, I'm not a big fan of McFarlane either. As a human being, I think he did some shady stuff to Neil Gaiman. And you know, of course, Miracleman got sucked up in it. I'll do it. I'll you know what? I'll tell the history of that someday. But long story short, look at what just happened on Kickstarter. McFarlane had, I think, the largest, one of the biggest Kickstarters ever. It was something like $2 million for a Spawn #1 reprint with an action figure. Okay, now it's arguably that you could say that was for the action figure, but it's a recreation of the original one. You know, and it's a series that's still going on. Just celebrated its 300th issue from, you know, a company that started from a bunch of artists that were tired of basically not making any money in the industry. You have Savage Dragon. That's that issue. That's about to hit issue 250. Another book, one of their original series that they had right when Image came out. You know, and still creator-owned to this day. Still putting out books. He basically puts them out when he wants to because he can. At least from.
I'm sure it has print runs similar to Spawn back in like the late 100s or so.
Right.
So just wait until it hits issue 300, and you might wind up having a similar thing happen with Eric Larson. But I don't know. Looking at Amazing Spider-Man, everyone wants the McFarlane issues, the Eric Larson issues.
McFarlane, I think, you know, I think McFarlane has experienced a pretty well-rounded success. Spawn is being looked at for movies again. Let's hear about a Savage Dragon movie, man. All those late 100 issues of Savage Dragon are going to go through the roof. But, you know, there was a bunch of them. Liefeld, you know, look, let me go back. So Larson clearly has a lot of Kirby influence. So I've always enjoyed his creative style. His art is not always done it for me. I think sometimes it's a little rougher than I want it for specific stories and characters. But when the art's the right art style for that character, such as his self-created, I think it really works. You know, on Liefeld, there's another one that, you know, he's kind of a firebrand still to this day. Clearly a
tool.
He is a bit of a
I have a story that
He's a fucking man-child. You want to know what fucking man-child is? Rob Liefeld. Check it out.
Now, listen.
He has moments where he can control himself and other moments where he can't. He got my respect when I saw a video of him about a decade ago where these immature kids went up to him with a how to draw the Marvel Comics way and tried to get Rob Liefeld to sign the book saying he couldn't draw feet. We all know he can't draw feet.
That's shitty, though. That's cool.
Yeah, he knows that he can't draw feet. And instead of throwing the book at these kids or yelling at them or saying, "Bring me your parents, I want to yell at them for their upbringing, two little bastard kids," didn't do any of that. He said, "Well, you know, not everyone can like the artwork, but you know, I'm thankful that you came to the show today, and I hope you have a good time." And he was very cordial. He was very nice. I'm like, holy shit, he can actually do this. And then he goes and screws other creators here and there and puts out a first issue, does Kickstarters like the Brightwisers.
He's stupid.
Now,
Human being, I'll put it that way.
He's fallible, but I think he doesn't necessarily mean to be a crappy human being. I think it just comes out sometimes.
No, he's just a man-child. I mean, he literally just has a child's head. I don't think that he's capable of thinking certain things out. And I don't think that he has certain filters that maybe other people do.
He's got a dude bro mentality.
So
it's a very dude bro.
I'll put up there.
Like, there's been no evolution of maturity, but you go. Sorry, Rob.
Oh, I was going to say, now that I'm finally reading these old X-Men, looking in the back at the letters, and you get to see the responses of a young Chris Claremont. Do you know how young he was when he started taking over X-Men? He was 26 years old. And
wow.
as a 26-year-old kid, he's going, my dad keeps saying, hey, so what do you plan on doing for a living? He's like, I write comics, Dad. I'm writing X-Men. It's the biggest book in the nation. And his father's still just saying, yeah, call me when you finally get a real job.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, that's how that generation was raised. Then fast forward to the generation of Weiss Patricio, I will always butcher that name, Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane, Silvestri, all the way up to and including Alan Moore and Grant Morrison, who were some early writers on Spawn. And I really thought that Spawn lost his way after he tried acquiring Miracleman. And after he couldn't get the rights, it just went on the writing end. Because as much as we all love the covers to Spawn, no one has ever said that it's a must-read title.
No, it's a must-look. I just put that number one I just showed. I just put the first 50 issues together, all cheap. I've been showing them, and I'm going to read it through. And one of the things I've noticed about all the Spawn books is there are editorial issues left and right, and proofreading issues, lettering issues, and nothing against the creators that are in there. Particularly at the beginning, it was a bunch of young people who were doing it for the first time on their own. When you get to about issue 200, and that's still the case, it's not so much a bunch of young people trying to learn on their own at that point. I mean, that book's been around a long time. I think Todd's got more gray hair than me and Rob combined.
He's had a facelift.
Oh, right.
No way.
Yes, the fuck way. Yes, he's had a fucking facelift.
Wow. Is it a Joan Rivers?
Like you can see, you can tell he has had a fucking face. There's the vanity, and his hair is dyed. Just look at him. Any female could tell you that man has had a facelift. Ask other women independently and be like, do you think that man's had work done? Show him a 90s McFarlane and show him McFarlane now. The dude's had a fucking facelift.
Yeah, you can tell
or Botox the fuck.
But if you remember back when he was showing Spawn on HBO, I don't think they did it on the DVD releases, but every single episode at the beginning, you got this Tales from the Crypt sort of looking setup, and all of a sudden the black turns into a little bit of light, and all of a sudden it looks like one of these sorts of things. Hi, I'm Todd McFarlane, creator of Spawn. Sometimes in the dark, when the boy grabs a hold of us, and he's saying this all in his high-pitched Canadian accent.
Right.
And you're going like, why is he doing this to himself?
He's really hyper. He's just a hyper kid.
He wants to be a multimedia star. He doesn't just want to be a comic creator. He wants to be an actor. Maybe not an actor, but somebody in front of the camera. That's what he wants. If you look up any of his bios, everything is about multimedia.
He's a very intelligent businessman.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
He's made himself an incredible amount of money, and I mean, the man can go buy $1 million baseballs. That's cool, but like,
dude, he bought a Superman book.
He's just
like
there's a level of vanity to him that is at the Joan Rivers level, but manifested within a male. Not Liberace level.
I love that.
Maybe close to Regis Philbin, though.
I do want to bring one thing up real quick because we moved on from Liefeld really quick, and I did want to bring something up. Now the dude bro and all those readings of him I think are accurate, but as fans of the medium, I do want to bring something to people's attention, and I think most people are aware of it, but not everybody. So Rob Liefeld lost the rights to Youngblood. Everybody aware of that?
I think I knew that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Short
I
version.
did not know that.
Yes. So that might explain some of the rage he's been experiencing lately. And I can't really blame him on that one. Now, here's the thing. Basically, what happened is he had kind of like a 50-50 deal with somebody who then sold their 50% of the deal to a guy who once was the publisher of Comico, which is an independent publisher back in the 80s and 90s. They did Elementals. It's probably their biggest book. Bill
And
Willingham.
Grendel.
What's that?
Grendel too.
Grendel. That's right. Grendel. That was another one. They
And
did the whole
Johnny Quest, maybe?
Johnny Quest, Robotech. They had a bunch of series.
Yeah.
They were a big contender.
Yeah.
From what I understand, the guy, his name is Rev, ran the company into the ground, bankrupted it. He now is starting up another comic company called Terrific Productions. And if you take a look at their Twitter account, boy, this guy, he's either hired the world's worst social media intern or he's sundowning and somebody should really step in. What's that, Rob?
What happened? What did they do?
Oh, man. Okay. So here's a couple of things they did. When they first got on Twitter, they posted Stan Lee's signature as their header. And everything they wrote was like, hey, welcome, join the Terrifically Legion. It was Stan Lee's expounding exposition.
So they were trying to take the whole boom. Welcome to this universe. We're trying to get you, fellow reader, Excelsior. Enough said.
Yes. Yes. They even wrote Excelsior for a while on all of their tweets.
Wow. Wow.
Now, listen, if you are in comics and you are writing Excelsior with Stan Lee's signature in your header, you know, and excuse the language, everybody, what the fuck you're doing.
I think it was probably somebody that was very young, that knows nothing about comics, and felt that nostalgia is just the right genie to rub that little belly and hope that you hit gold. But instead, you rubbed an empty barrel of rum and nothing's coming out other than really nasty scents.
Well, this is a comic publisher in his 50s.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe fantastic?
So there another story about the Image, and I think this was McFarlane's idea, was that, you know, how Marvel Comics says Stan Lee presents or whatever, they wanted to do Jack Kirby presents.
Oh.
Yeah. And then the guy that was the head was like, nah, I mean, we can't do that. But like Todd McFarlane talks about saying like, you know, we can give him, because the artists wanted to give that man credit. That was their like God, you know? And so he was just like, I want to put Jack Kirby presents as a fuck you to stay, you know, because that's what an artist would do.
Right.
I mean, Stan was known for a long time for being a very, very cheap.
He was bombastic. He was just a character.
And oftentimes that's what people are looking for, like Bob Kane. He was just a big showman, and really it was everybody that was underneath him that was supporting him up, but they were supporting an empty chair.
Hey, did Bob and Gil have any relation?
What was that name?
Gil Kane?
Oh, Gil Kane and Bob Kane?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, probably not. I don't know. Are their names spelled the same?
Yeah, K-A-N-E.
Yep.
And I only just found out that this week that I put two and two together, that there was this girl that I knew for a god-awful long time. Her name is Jen Bruner. She's where I get the phrase, don't die. I remember hearing that a long time ago. I'm like, just like from Parks and Rec. I like that. I'm taking that. I'm stealing it. It's mine now. So it came for anybody that ever wants to know a little bit of trivia of the show, her name's Jen Bruner. Good person, but it's the last name that just never hit me until a couple of days ago, maybe it was a couple weeks ago, when it was Miracleman talking about the great Frank Bruner. And I'm like, Frank Bruner? I knew a Bruner. I've known who Frank Bruner was for a long time. Damn, why didn't I ever ask her? I knew her for years and years and years until I jackholed my life up and stopped talking to all my old friends.
That's funny.
I'll never know.
Anyway, long story short on that Terrific thing. Terrific has the rights to Youngblood right now. They're saying that they're going to put out Youngblood and Elementals comics because that Rev guy has the rights to both. But he's basically trying to he's running contests on Twitter saying send me your original art, and basically I'm going to steal it, keep it. You're going to get nothing. You're not even going to get paid for the original art, and I'm going to make comics with it. So a lot of people have been trying to warn folks away from them. If you happen to see anything from Terrific Productions, I personally recommend avoiding it. But they did basically screw Rob out of his creation. Which, whether you love Rob Liefeld or not, as a human being, as a creator, people deserve their creations. So I think that's a pretty horrible and terrible thing to have happen to the guy. So it might explain some of his miserableness.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like my ass is out there doing fucking covers. Like, he clearly is a talent. You know what I mean? As annoying as we may find him, he's got to be respected for what he did. Because we didn't do shit.
Crazy.
And no matter what, no matter how bad other comic book artists are or how many people hate his style, we are still talking about him today. He is still working in the industry today. So he's human. He's made mistakes. I know he's not the greatest businessman. He's a comic book person. I don't expect comic book people to be eloquent business people. That's why most of them are broke.
They're all a bunch of weirdos.
Like if you were smart, you would start up a tequila company, like apparently all these other famous people, actual famous people.
Listen, if you want to know who Rob Liefeld is, look up his 1991 Bugle Boys jean commercial, and then add 30 years.
That's all. No, his hair hasn't even changed. He still does the goofy bangs.
Well, that was the last time he was cool.
Well, do you have the goofy bangs still?
That was the last time he was cool. He's obviously that guy who he never got out of that frat boy mentality. You can see it all across him. He just never got out of it. That was the last time life was awesome to him. And the frat was image. That's what it seems like. I don't know, but that's sure as shit what it seems like.
Oh, and real quick, I want to shout out, we have Discovery Bay in the house. JB, we miss you.
JB!
We hope that everything's okay, but we look forward to your return. But meanwhile, get some rest, and we look forward to seeing you around in the community. We miss space.
All right. I'm going to give you there's a great thing about the German language is that they have these wonderful words that mean very unique things, okay, that we don't have, okay? And one of these words is Fremdschämen. I think I want to say it. Fremdschämen, yes. And basically that is being ashamed for someone who doesn't know that they're being an ass. That's how I feel towards life.
What was that word again? Fremdschämen?
Let me copy and paste it here. Also another good one, Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude
is a world weariness.
Schadenfreude.
Fremdschämen. I entered it into the thing, but that is exactly how I feel towards Liefeld.
Oh, Discovery is planning a comeback return soon. Please check out his poll on the community page. Everybody go check out Discovery community. But here is the word. It is Fremdschämen. Fremdschämen.
Fremdschämen. What he said.
Fremdschämen. I just entered in the chat.
Right there. Fremdschämen. Right there.
The process of being vicariously embarrassed by someone else. I'm embarrassed for him, dude, because he acts like a goob sometimes.
I feel like that way about half of our country most of the time. The Schadenfreude, though, is one of those, I feel like an asshole when I feel like I'm laughing at other people's pain, but sometimes it's kind of deserved. Not everybody. It's just certain people when I see something go horrifically wrong where I just kind of do the Nelson Muntz and go, ah!
Did you just trip? Oh, I'm sorry. Do you need help?
It's like you see your old high school bully and you see him in the local subway and he's 400 pounds and he has like 4 or 5 sheets of toilet paper hanging out of the bottom of his shoe. You just
And you think it's hilarious.
Rob, this is
hilarious. Yeah.
Rob, this is very specific. This is very specific.
There was this really funny, like,
I'm just saying it.
I saw like a really funny like GIF or whatever, and it showed these two. It showed night vision of these 2 young kids. They both had bricks, right? And they were both were going to throw the bricks, right? So the first guy throws, but he runs in front of the second guy who's thrown it, and he hits him in the head and knocks him the fuck out. His legs go straight. The dude tries to drag him, and his legs are locked. Knock the fuck out of him. That was funny.
Wow.
Yeah. And then there's Weltschmerz, which is like world weirdiness. That's another word.
Okay.
Dude, German language is really great.
So is Greek.
Well,
have a lot of the words that just English
because
language doesn't have.
Do you know, like, basically our the English language is it's Latin nouns with German sentence structure.
Yep.
I took Latin in college. But
I took Spanish, and I live in Miami, and I only know how to say one thing, one thing only. Because back in high school, it was Coral Springs High School, and there were only 7 people in the entire high school that spoke Spanish. So I lost it all. So I tried learning it through Pimsleur, and now all I got is this. Lo siento, no entiendo mucho español, solo habla poquito. That's it. That's all I got.
What does that mean?
I'm sorry, I speak very little Spanish, and I only understand a little. But when I say it really fast, because I just repeat it, and then I just stop learning. So if I say it like that, they go, "Oh, he speaks Spanish," and here I am going,
"Yeah." The first time I said "No hablo español," they responded with, "Oh, hablo español," and they started going, and I was like, "No, no hablo español."
Bring it back.
right. Roll it back here, guys. I'm lost.
Yeah, sorry. I went on a tangent there. I don't know. But
it's all good.
This is going to be
we learned a little bit of German.
It was going to be very loose. And look, we're even having Flashpoint Comics jump on for the very end. Along with Biggie Shack.
What's up, guys?
Good to see you.
Flashpoint.
Going wrong way.
Hey, Biggie.
Not Biggie. That's Flashpoint, but Biggie's in the chat. He's just joining us. How you doing, Flashpoint?
Not much. Just trying to sort through some books. I had to, I moved out of the 70s porno arena now to like the 80s porno arena. So just trying to make it, make it as best as I can. So.
Right on, man.
Did Rob pick himself out?
Can we see some of the 80s porno arena? I mean, I don't know. That's
well,
very dark.
If you want me to. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, he kicked him out.
And that's how you do it if you have a Vernon situation.
Hey, his name's not Flashpoint for nothing.
For the first 2 months of YouTube, everyone thought I was not Vernon. I was like, dude, no, I'm just. Ridiculous.
Terrible. Just terrible.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Dudes, I'm going to bounce off of here because I'm a mammal. And let Flashpoint take my place.
We're coming up on the midnight hour. I just wanted to have Flashpoint on just so we could say real quick, status update for everybody in the community. They did find his comic book. So we're just going to do
great.
a quick go around the room. This is the. I'm just going to throw up the damn banner. It is the promote yourself section. So go ahead, Flashpoint Comics, tell the community what happened, how you got your books back, and what's going on with you.
Basically just got lucky, honestly. I'm going to go over it. I've been over it a lot, and I'm super exhausted. I just can't sleep. I got insomnia or something. Basically got lucky, and it's thanks to you guys. It's you guys that basically helped me do that. So just hit 100 subscribers. Going to do a huge kind of giveaway thing that my wife says I'm a hoarder, says that I got too many books. So I'm going to start giving away stuff to everybody. So whatever you guys want, love you guys and everything else. Can't wait to see you next week.
For sure, man. You're not the only person in this YouTube community who I have heard say my wife said I have too many books. Yeah. You're not in that club alone, my man.
Well, see, the problem is like now it's overflowing into my.
It's a very common thing.
So, yeah. And if check out. So sorry. Quick shout out to Karate Kevin. I did a live video. I opened up some art that he did for me. I'm gonna post it on Instagram. So if you need any, he's doing some pretty cool stuff on Instagram. He's great dude. Like there's tons of great people in the community if you're looking for art. And I just want to shout out to all of these peeps here: Miracleman, Lady Fantastic, Comics on the Mind, Rob. They're nothing but supportive to the community. And if you're looking for good people, make sure you get involved with these guys. And no matter what you do, and the one boy who talks, Seven. I just wanted to come on and say thanks to you guys. You guys kept me going through the dark hour of my YouTube thing of just quitting and everything else. So I love you guys, man. You guys are all family. If you guys ever need anything, I've got your back. And I think most of you guys have my cell phone number. I think, if not, I'll give it to you. So you guys have a great night.
Thanks, buddy.
He went through all the stages of grief, and he would tell us how he's feeling throughout a week or something. And he's like, all right, I've come to grips with it.
He went through these stages pretty fast.
It was like therapy sessions, dude. Like he lost, but fuck, I can understand why. So anyways, I'm really glad you got
I'm glad we can end this show on a high note where somebody wound up getting all those. It's not even that they were expensive. It's not even that they were rare, but they were from your grandfather who is no longer with us. So I'm so very grateful to hear that they're back where they belong.
Yeah,
so,
that's the big thing for me. So I just, like I said, you guys helped me through the 50 million flash stages of grief. It goes through so fast every 10 seconds. But I love you guys. You guys are like family. I'm gonna hop off. So make sure you sub all these guys up, ladies. I don't know if you've ever seen her books when her comic book pickups, but she is fucking hilarious. So Kirk has some good content. You know what, Miracleman? I need to sub to you. Do you do YouTube stuff, or are you just on the Wednesdays?
I just come on the show. That's all I'm doing. Thank you, though.
Twitter. He has Twitter.
Well, you know what? Make sure you help him fight the Twitter war, because Twitter is becoming the new Facebook, banning everybody for everything stupid. So make sure you help him out, and make sure you hashtag free Miracleman or whatever.
Yeah.
We only do that every other week. But last point, I do want you to stick around because we do have a new closing video animation. It's not expensive. There's more work I'll put into it, but you'll see that in just a couple minutes. So going around the room, let's get back to promote yourself. No, where'd he go? He just jumped off. Come back, Flashpoint. Come back. But promote yourself. Let's go ahead to Lady Fantastic.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
Lady.
I on right when you hit on me. So don't have anything planned in the immediate future. My job, we're starting to ramp back up in terms of going back, and so I'm ramping up in terms of work, and that means my focus is taken otherwise. But Shorty and I will be having an auction soon, and when we do, we will announce it a few days in advance. Be well, be safe. Wash your booty.
Yes, please wash
Huh?
your booty. At least once a day.
And don't throw bricks at shit.
Serious. Now, Lady Fantastic,
No one needs
on
to control-
Instagram at Caro_syrup84, and look out for her comic book auctions on her YouTube channel. So next up, we have Miracleman. He fights the good fight out on the Twitter sphere.
I don't know if I fight a good fight, but at least I fight a
We
fight.
appreciate you, man. For that.
A couple of things. I'm not gonna get political here. I'm just gonna say, if you're on Twitter and you're not following a cat by the name of Greg Doucette, please go and follow Greg, Doucette, Greg Doucette. He is keeping a really great eye on what's going on out in our streets right now, and documenting a lot of cases of things that every citizen should be concerned about. I highly recommend. He's a great follow. He's a lawyer in North Carolina. Really, really fantastic dude. That's number one. Number two, Kickstarter came out today from A Wave Blue World called Maybe Someday, which is going to be a giant anthology of a whole bunch of stories about a positive future for America, the world. Sci-fi stories. Looks really great, man. There's a ton of creators going to be in this one, including a friend of mine, Miss Renfamous, who is well known, occasionally called the infamous Renfamous on Twitter. This is going to be her second story. But there's a ton of top-notch creators in it, and can't recommend it enough. You can still get the first day deal. I think it's $25 for the anthology. Highly recommend doing it. Everything I've read from A Wave Blue World has been fantastic, guys. So I highly recommend taking a look at that. For me, myself, I have nothing really going on. I am thinking about putting together maybe a couple of little packages of books that I've shown off here, and maybe joining somebody to do a little auction to sell some of those off to folks to see if they'd like to get them. Maybe one like what Rob got today, so you can read that story. So I'll be looking at that and putting that together, but I'll let everybody know about that well in advance. Over to you, Comics on the Mind.
Comics on the Mind. Go ahead and promote yourself.
Yo, what up, people? So I actually am going to be on a show tomorrow. I'm going to be on Longbox Paradox. If you guys don't know, Comic Chop News, and Comic Books Will Break Your Heart. They run that show. They're great people in the community. If you haven't found them, check them out. I just posted it on my IG, so go check it out and come and join us tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's 2:30 my time, and we're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna be talking about less comics and more about what's going on in the world right now. So it should be an interesting conversation. Come check us out, and then you can find me on IG. I'm always going to be in the chats if I have time. So I love this community. So that's what's coming up for me.
And that is our show, gentlemen. So as the title says down below, subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. If you haven't done so already, smash that like button. We do this show every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern time, and we have this nice little video at the very end that I'll start modifying a little bit for our episode 42 next week. And little preview, usually we don't know what we're going to do until usually the day beforehand. It was Discovery Bay that helped change me so that I would be able to, be prepared in advance. So thank you for that. So we already know what next week is going to be about. Episode 42, and episode 42, the number 42 means a lot to me. So given what's going on in society around us, we're going to be talking about Black comic book creators. writers, artists, anchors, the publishers, people behind this. So we're going to be doing a history episode. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. But more than anything, be back here for Not Near Mint Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. My name's Rob Wurst. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to see this episode again, along with a catalog of back episodes and issues, surf on over to Not Near Mint on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Rob Wurst, Lady Fantastic, Miracleman, and Comics on the Mind will be back next week. Same time, Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Not Near Mint.